where I live up here in New York, in Upstate, in the Catskill region, there's a lot of paranormal. This region's known for a lot of paranormal activity. Part of it is it's the oldest place, oldest culture in America today, in the modern, American culture. Obviously, I'm not talking about the indigenous Americans, but for white man, for the Europeans. We got buildings up here built by settlers that are 400 years old. I've been in one, so there's a lot of paranormal stuff up here, and we have seen, my brother-in-law, for example. I was telling him one day about how Sasquatch and leprechauns are very real and they're very demonic, and he laughed. Man, it wasn't 3 weeks later. He was driving down the road not too far from where we live, and there's this really haunted, creepy place in the woods. It's just, you drive through it and your skin crawls. It's just something very wrong with the place. Him and his friend were driving along, and a Sasquatch ran right in front of his car. He had to hit the brakes to keep from hitting it. He shut his mouth quick. He was mocking me for saying they were real. Not 3 weeks later, one appeared. What is that? That's a demon. How do I know that? I'll give you an example. Lester Summerall, if you don't know who that is, look him up. Lester Summerall was a fiercely powerful man of God. And he, back in the 70s, I guess it was, he did a deliverance, which at the time I know was the most documented deliverance in history. There were news cameras there and everything else. Some little girl down in South Mexico, or South America rather, somewhere down there, she was possessed. And she kept getting bites, like human-looking bites on her back, the back of her neck, back of her arms, places she couldn't have bit herself and nobody else was around her. Well, she kept saying that there was this big, tall, furry, like 7-foot tall, furry, humanoid-shaped creature, but covered in brown fur, kept showing up, and then one that was about 3 feet tall and looked like a kind of chubby white man, but had a green hue to his skin. No joke. She kept seeing this stuff. And they kept showing up, and she said they were biting her. Well, they saw bites all over her. Lester Summerall wound up going down to do the case, and they got this on camera. He fights these demons for a good while. And finally, when he goes to break their power, the final blow, the little girl screams. And she reaches out in thin air and she goes like this, and she pulls back. When she does, she comes back with a handful of brown fur. Now, she'd been telling them all that the big one kept showing up and standing there, and no one else could see it but her. And the little leprechaun-looking one kept showing up. But that proved her thing. Not only did she have bites showing up, so they knew something was there, but now she comes back with a handful of fur. And they later did tests on it, and the DNA didn't match anything we knew about. We know of. Now, what in the world's going on? Well, it's the demonic world. That's just what they do. That's just all very demonic stuff.